I mean, look, that was the overhang, right? I mean, you don't want a BFF to turn into an enemy, especially when they're in the Oval Office. And I think it was a smart move. I mean, obviously, hotheads, things got a little wild, but I continue to believe Trump and Musk will be friends again. And Trump's a supporter of Tesla when it comes to ultimately the autonomous vision. And that continues to be key around Robotaxi.
Yeah, let's go to Robotaxi, Dan. Can you tell us kind of the timing around it, the market opportunity around it, the competitive nature? What do we need to know about the Robotaxi business?
Yeah, I mean, and that'll be late next week. It looks like when it's actually, going to launch, or and maybe potentially June 22nd. But Paul, this is in Austin. This is going to be a small launch, but it's the start of what's going to be 20, 25 cities around the country in terms of basically a Waymo-like vehicle that Tesla is going to be able to scale and scope that's going to be unmatched. I think it's going to start obviously in a more of a ring fence, small area in Austin, but this is the beginning. Like, we believe it is worth $1 trillion to the story in terms of the autonomous vision, and I continue to view this as probably, the one, not just one of the best AI plays out there, but probably the most undervalued AI relative to the technology I see at Tesla.
But aren't there better ways or less stressful ways to play AI where you don't have a key man risk overhang?
Yeah, and now, I mean, our view is it's the Ives AI 30, right? It's in terms of the report. Yeah, this is the autonomous way. Akko's the nuclear way. The godfather of AI, Jensen NVIDIA on the semis, hyperscalers, Palantir, obviously one of the best pure plays. There's different ways to play it, but in my view, you can't just play it on semis. Can't just play on software. You have to play the whole theme. And I think when it comes to autonomous, Tesla continues to be the best way to play it.
So broadening out a little bit, Dan, U.S. China, we had some news come out from President Trump about maybe after the London negotiations between the U.S. and China on trade. Still, we're sitting there with, I don't know, on China, the best I can read is still 55% tariffs. That's still a big, big deal. How do tech companies like an Apple, how do they deal with that?
I mean, I think also investors are viewing this 55% is probably the start. I mean, I think there's a view that that's going to come down. I think that's how the market's reading it as more negotiations come out. And I think there's going to be a lot of loopholes and a lot of exceptions. I think when it comes to tech, they're going to have to play both sides of the fence in terms of pivoting like Apple to India. But when it comes to NVIDIA and Jensen, I think that's the next big thing everyone's waiting for. What does this mean in terms of export controls? And will NVIDIA in some way be able to sell into China instead of handing that business to Huawei on a silver platter?
So, Dan, what else are you looking at? Like, okay, so we got through all the earnings. We got through Oracle yesterday, right? We got through the Musk and Elon, the Musk and Trump disaster. What is next on your radar? What's going to be a catalyst for your industry?
I mean, to me, it's all about the use cases, expanding on enterprise, and that's key. The hyperscalers, the oracles, of course, the semi plays as well. You're going to be looking out for they're loosening on the export controls in NVIDIA, and that's important, especially around China. But I think the big thing is now the consumer piece that's going to play out from Meta to what I view as really autonomous to robotics. I mean, that's the golden goose is physical AI. I think autonomous and robotics are going to be probably the biggest theme within AI. So to me, investors continue to kind of, I think where they're wrong, they continue to be skeptical about AI. I don't think there's any skepticism out there. I mean, you spend all of our time traveling around the world. This is a fourth industrial revolution. It's why I believe we're going to be talking about NASDAQ 20,000, NASDAQ 25,000, and so on over the coming years.